Good morning everyone, it's Behzad here from Code Simplifier. Welcome back to second part of developing our tip calculation app using Kotlin language. If you recall from our previous video, we just created two simple activities without doing much work in it. In today's video, we are going to develop our user interface on our XML layout, creating a virtual device on our Android studio and run our application to see how it looks like. We are in our XML layout. I want you to run your application first on the virtual device to see how it looks. If you do not have any virtual device, we are going to create one quickly. If you go into middle section here, you can see my pointer. Just drag down this drop-down menu. Second option from the bottom, it says AVD Manager. Click on it. So here you see a window that lets you to create your own virtual device. As you see, I have already created one. I don't need one because these virtual devices are using too much memory. But I'll show you how to create one. On left hand side to bottom, here you see create a virtual device. Click on that button. And here you see a bunch of devices with different size of the screen and resolution. So choose one based on which one you desire. So what I chose was a Pixel 2 5-inch. Then you click on next and simply creating a virtual device. All you have to do is just click on next, rename the device, and you're pretty much set. So we're moving on to next step. I assume you created your virtual device. Now we are going to run our application and to see how it looks like on a real device. Click on the play button here. It takes around 1 minute to this device load and be ready. So this is how your app it looks like right now. You see the app, it doesn't have much, it has a text says hello world. So we minimize our virtual device. Before we're going ahead and jump in designing, I'm going to show you and explain in a simple way how Is XML Layout works and how you can create one. Here is I use a simple steps in our PowerPoint to show you how these items are going to sit and how they are going to work. As you see here, I have a rectangle, which we imagine this is our device screen. And the second part is padding, which I will explain to you what is it in a second. And here, these items are our children for the parent. Padding is in a simple word. It sits inside your device screen. If I'm gonna minimize it here, it shows the gap between the edge of the screen and internal parent. This gap here is around the screen toward inside. We call it padding. This is our padding. Then every item like edit text, text view, or any button, we'll call them children. And each children has to sit compared to the parents and how it's going to look like. I'll move the padding away for a second so I don't want to confuse you. Imagine this is our screen. This is the item we are going to sit. As I said, and as you remember, we said the computer cannot think and they cannot make decisions on their own. That means we have to explain every step for him. The first step we're going to do, we are going to sit down this kid here, edge to the side and edge to the top. This is how it looks like, and we have to identify every single step to our device, how it goes and how it's going to sit. The second item, you could imagine to put it everywhere. They can be relative to each other or it can be anywhere in our screen. Another kid and another text or whatever you're going to sit inside your screen. Now, in saying that, keep this in mind. We go into our Android studio and we're developing it, and along the way I'll explain what I meant here. Go back to your Android studio. We are going to delete this text view because we do not need it. What we need first, we need to let the user to put the amount they are going to pay for their service. What we need a kid called edit text. Open tag, write down edit text. Android Studio offers the auto correction. Click tab, put it match the width put it the wrap content because we just don't want to go too far, and the height is wrap content as well. Then /, it will close the tag. We need an ID. Just click ID, put on the top one. We are going to give a new ID to this kid. We call it cost of service. And one tip here is always try to put ID relative to the kid's job. What does that mean? For example, here in this edit text, we are going to get the cost of service from our user. That's why I put the name relative to what this kid is going to do. So that's it. We gave a name to this kid. As you see here, the effective of our item. It has a width of wrap of content and height of wrap of content. As you see, the edit text here is red, and that means we didn't specify where the kid is going to sit on the parent. We are going to start off parent. Here, layout constraint start to start off going the parent. That means if I go back to here, this is the start of my kid is going to be aligned with the start of the parent, wherever the parent starts. This is what we said. Then we go into constraint top to top of parent. And again, I'll explain, this is top of our kid is going to be aligned with the top of the parent. That's how it goes to sit. Then as you see, the error is gone. It doesn't have any value, that's why you cannot see much. What we are going to do, we need to identify what type of input is going to get. And as you know from the ID's name, we are going to get number, and we're going to number as internal. Then we need a hint, what they have to put in this section and what we expect to be. We write it down, cost of service. And that's it. As you see here is highlighted that Android Studio offers you to create this variable as a string. If you want to just hold on Alt, Shift and Enter together and click OK, then it will create as a string for this layout. One more thing is we have to remember here is, let me zoom it in. You see all of the edge of the edit text is sticking to edge of the screen, and that doesn't look pretty in real application. That's why we need to create the padding as I explained here inside our parent. So what we are going to do, just write down, come back to your Android Studio in your parent tag, write down a padding, whole padding, because we want a gap along the 4 edges, and put it as 16 pixel. And you see the kid is sit down. Here is 16 and here is a 16. I'll explain to you what does that mean, and that's where it sits, the kid. So we got the cost of service. We're going to run our application to see how it looks like. If we click on this section, our keyboard comes up, and here we identify we want to enter the number. So you can put as much as number you want as your cost of service, and you can delete it. Go back to our application. We got the cost of service. Now we are going to ask a question from our customer. How was the service? Were they happy with the service or not? To doing that, we need to create a text view, and I'll explain to you what text view it does. Wrap content as a width, and the height it will be wrap content / close the tag. As per usual, we create an ID for it. It has to be new. Cost of service, service question. This is an ID. It is red because we haven't said where this kid is going to sit. And imagine this is a question we are going to ask, and we have to identify how it's going to sit and where around the parent it has to stick. We are going to say the start of our kit, the constraint start to a start of parent, because we're gonna stick to the side of the parent, and top of to bottom of cost of service. And here I tell you what happened. Start of this question is going to be edge of the parent as the top one. The top of this text view section is going to sit in the bottom of the top one. And here we said the top side of this text view, which doesn't have any text yet, is going to sit to the bottom of this question we got. And you will see what I mean in a second. Then we need a text to tell the user what we want to ask from them. How was the service? And question. You see here, they are pretty much sticking together. That doesn't look very nice. We are going to have some gap between these two kits. And how we are going to it, we're going to say margin top and say 16 dp. Margin top, it says from top of this kit to the bottom of the next one how much gap we got, and it is 16. In a PowerPoint, I show you, and gap between this top and this top is 16 dp, and this is how we are going to find it out. The text is highlighted because it's not a string. You can create a string. Hold on, Alt Shift Enter. What I mean by a string, whenever you're creating any text view here, if you're creating a string, and in the next videos I will explain to you what a string is and how it can help you to be writing your code faster and how to be more effective in writing code. But for now, if it's very generic explaining to you what it does, you're creating a resource through your application, and whenever you're going to change anything, you just go to the resource and change it, and that change will affect on every single activity you created. Obviously, we only have one activity here. It doesn't make much difference, but in real application, you may using this question in 10 layouts, and if you need to change one of the layouts in a very old-fashioned way, you have to do every single one, apply the changes. But when you're creating a string resource, all you have to do, go to the resource, apply the changes, and that changes will apply to all the layouts you're using this application. This is how it helps, and as I said, I will explain it to you more in details in further videos. Click OK, and that's it. Our application is ready. Again, we're going to test it to make sure everything runs smoothly. Awesome work. You have already created your first step of how to creating your own application. As you see, our edit text and text view shows up in our real device, and we are going to stop the video here for a few reasons. I do not want to make it overcomplicated for you, especially if you are new to Kotlin and writing programs. And the second part is every single steps we are going to be very small so we can handle the information and understand it more. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any question or any recommendation, please make sure you write it down in the comment below. I will respond to them as quick as I can. And if you are new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're not missing any other upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in next video.